that Marchand, Bergeron, Pasternak line really kind of had their way last night. What have the discussions been like to combat them, especially because you've done it before, particularly in the 6-2 win in February?
Yeah, it's a good question. I mean, there's no doubt they're one of the best lines in the league. I think you just see the chemistry they have. I think sometimes that doesn't look like they're creating too much, then boom, they get just great opportunities. So that's definitely a challenge for us. I think we've done a pretty good job against them this year. I mean, it's going to be pretty hard to stop them altogether. I think that's kind of the trend they've set for the season if you look at kind of the way their team's scoring has gone. So I think we just have to focus a little bit more, attention to detail. I think just kind of be more aware of where they are, talk more as a group, and it's like I said, it's going to be tough to completely shut them down, but that's definitely a tall task and one we're going to need to be ready to go tomorrow afternoon.
Next question goes to Dan Rosen. Dan, go ahead.
Yeah, Ryan, we're not there to watch practice, so I was curious if, were you skating with Panarin today? If so, who was on the right side, and was there any chemistry there that you could rekindle in one practice, I guess?
Yeah, he was out there skating, and felt good to have him out there in the line rushes and stuff. I think, I think just his infectious energy, I think a little bit of a jolt to the group, just his smile and, the curls flowing out there, and he's just high-stepping around the ice and looks like he hasn't missed a beat. So, obviously we're going to see how it goes if he plays. I think, you never know what to expect when a guy's been off for a while like that. It's a tough league, the NHL, when you do have some time off like that to get the game pace up. But if anyone can do it, I think it's him. I think his mind's as sharp and as good as anyone in this league. So, hopefully we can get out there and make some plays, and hopefully he can provide a spark for our group. I think, like I said, even just having him out there in practice day, you see him smiling, you see all the other guys smiling, and it feels like we got the band back together. And it's good to have him out there, and hopefully he's ready to go, and hopefully we get the 2 points.
Next question comes from Vince Mercogliano. Vince, go ahead.
Hey, Ryan. Wanted to get your thoughts on the power play. Obviously, you guys have been inconsistent this year, and then you had the shorthanded goal that you gave up last night, which Coach said he thought was the backbreaker in the game. So what can you guys do to fix it? I mean, you've tried different combinations, but from your vantage point, what do you see as the main issues?
It's a good question, Vince. I think if the answers were that simple, I think we would have solved them by now. I think I often refer to just simplifying. I think sometimes when you look at some of our goals we score, they're just kind of sometimes ping balled in, or they're just kind of shots from the point, or just simplifying. And I think sometimes when things aren't quite going their way, you just got to kind of get pucks to the net and keep it simple, as cliche as it sounds. But I think more importantly, I think just limiting the shorthanded goals. I mean, 2 shorthanded goals against in 2 games is unacceptable. And no matter how they happen or who's on the ice, whatever unit, who's responsible, I think as a collective group on the power play, you have to take more pride in getting back. And I think, if we let this thing slip away, teams are going to start to take advantage and turn us up shorthanded and try to score more. So we have to be conscious of that. But I think it's a collective effort, something we've definitely addressed. I mean, obviously the power play isn't where we want it to be. I think throughout spurts of the year, we've definitely had good moments where we feel like we did last year, and we feel like we're confident where we can be. But ultimately it's about results, and we got to kind of keep it a little more simple, I think, and just kind of work together as a unit. I think sometimes it looks like one guy or 2 guys kind of making everything happen. I think when we're at our best, it's quick, it's crisp, and everyone's involved.
Next question comes from Mike Mancuso. Mike, go ahead.
Hey, Ryan. Earlier this year, you guys as a team bounced back from rough stretches. Are you confident that you guys can do it again? Is the morale at a point where you can turn this around, even though you have less games left to do it?
Yeah, I mean, we have no choice, right? I mean, listen, we're not even halfway through this thing yet. So we were, a few weeks ago, we were really down and out. I think we won 6 of 8 and 3 in a row. So, I mean, our team can do it. I think there's definitely positives we can draw from these games, but we got to put a good 60-minute effort in. It's got to be everyone in the lineup, all 4 lines, all 6D, all goaltenders, everyone. And I think if we do that, we're going to give ourselves the best chance. I don't think we can worry about the overall picture sometimes. I think if you look at the standings, you can be discouraged, or you can look too far ahead. I think we got to look towards tomorrow night, and a good 60 minutes, start off with a good first period, and kind of keep going. I think unfortunately we've been shooting ourselves in the foot a little bit early in games and kind of chasing, and that's a tough recipe for success in the NHL, especially against teams like Pittsburgh and Boston. So got to get off to a good start. We're going to need everybody. We got to pull this thing collectively, and I think if we do that and, like I said, not look at the big picture, we'll be fine.
And we have time for one more for Ryan. Molly Walker. Molly, go ahead.
Kind of going off that, Ryan, in trying to figure out why the team kind of just deflates and can't shake off an early goal or spurt of goals, Quinn has pointed to a variety of mentality issues. How do you remedy that, and how much tougher is it to shake it off when you're in the middle of a losing skid like this? What can you guys do to keep your heads in the game when that happens?
Honestly, I think the answers are probably a lot simpler than we think. I think it's just communication on the bench. I think the next line that goes on the ice has a really important job to do. I think, after a goal is scored, it's tough. I mean, you look at the Pittsburgh game, for example, and it was like boom, boom, boom. They kept coming. I think it's the next line's responsibility to right the ship a little bit, try to win the face-off, try to get the puck in deep, simplify your shift, try to just win the next battle, and try to keep turning it over to the next line. So, I mean, I don't think it's a huge answer in terms of a new identity or any huge answers or whatever. I think it's just simplifying, and the next line's got to take responsibility and pick the line before up. And it's a team game. It's going to take 4 lines to win games in this league, especially in our division. And if a line goes out there and allows a goal against, it's not the end of the world. We got to go out there and help that line out. And everyone's got to be involved and contribute. And I think maybe, like I keep saying, just to simplify, that next line that goes on the ice is a really important job to do after a goal against, and that's one thing we're going to harp on going forward. And I think something that can really help us, weather these storms that we keep, kind of having, and not having one goal snowball into 2 or 3.